How did we get to the point where we're asking if a fitness wearable is racist? Let's dive in. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Isaiah, I'm with Player Development, and today we're talking about a lawsuit that someone in New York introduced alleging that the new Apple Watches with their pulse oximeters have a racial bias built into them. Let's dive into what that's about and what we can find out. So the Apple Watch rolled out this new feature where there's a pulse oximeter app where it can measure your blood oxygen levels through the sensors in the watch itself. Now, Apple claims that this app can give you insights into your health, and what this person is alleging is that there is a racial bias in this app against people with darker skin tones, and that there's a body of research that backs up the claim that there are inaccurate findings for people with darker skin tones. And that when he bought it, he assumed that the device would work without regard to skin tone, which, duh. I think we all assumed that. And he is filing a class action lawsuit because he claims that Apple did not deliver on the claims that they had promised when unrolling this new feature. Okay, so let's start. What is pulse oximetry? Doctors who are watching this, feel free to comment below. This is not my area of expertise. My understanding is that if you've been in a doctor's office for some kind of checkup recently, you've probably had a pulse oximeter on your finger. So it's that little clip that they clip on and it'll check your blood oxygen levels. And what this device does is it measures how much oxygen is reaching your muscles. And that's not necessarily an insight into how healthy or how fit you are, but if your oxygen levels are too low, that can be considered a warning sign for the doctors to follow up on. And as we know, oxygen being introduced to our blood changes the blood's color, and so that change in color is what's measured by the Apple Watch using infrared light. Where this gets wrapped up with the fitness aspect is that our body does need more oxygen during physical activity. And so the theory goes, if you can improve the efficiency that your body is bringing oxygen into your body, that would be a sign of greater fitness, and that would, in theory, be measured by the pulse oximeter. And so the issue with this, what this person is saying in this lawsuit, is that the Apple Watch is less accurate in people with darker skin, and that there's actually a body of research that backs this up, and that Apple rolled it out still knowing that there was a limitation to their device, especially for people with darker skin. So my first question, does the pulse oximeter actually provide a tangible benefit as you're trying to measure wellness and fitness? And what I've found so far is probably not. Quick Google search gives me very vague answers about wellness, or like I talked about, maybe being able to measure fitness by seeing whether your body is processing oxygen better after physical activity, that kind of thing. There's no straight apples to apples comparison like, oh, if you have this percentage of oxygen in your body after certain activity, then you are more fit or less fit. The best I could find is just what we see in the doctor's office, is that if your body is below a certain amount of oxygen in your blood, then it's a problem. But just having more oxygen in your blood is not necessarily an indicator of greater health or fitness. So I was talking to a doctor of physical therapy about this. To him, it seems more gimmicky than helpful for most people. So my second question to this is, if there is a body of research that states that this technology is inaccurate or less reliable with people with darker skin tones, do medical devices that doctors' offices use rely on the same technology that have these same limitations? Because if that is the case, then I could see that medical issue actually being more problematic than whatever might be going on with the Apple Watch, because the doctor's office is using these readings for what seem to be their intended purpose, to be screening for any potential issues rather than trying to measure something as nebulous as health or fitness. And so if these medical devices are using the same technology as the Apple Watch that may actually have those limitations built into their system based on how dark somebody's skin is, then you could potentially be getting inaccurate readings for people of color, which could lead to doctors missing signs of a potential illness or condition that might otherwise be revealed through this testing. So in conclusion, I'm not ready to call this technology racially biased. There could be some inherent limitation to using that infrared light to detect the amount of oxygen in somebody's blood that the programmers couldn't account for. And I can see how if you're somebody of color who's dropping a couple $100, maybe $1,000 for a new Apple Watch, that you want it to work as intended and as promised. Again though, I would be more concerned and ask follow-up questions about what kind of technology is used in the devices used in doctors' offices, and if it relies on the same technology, does it have the same limitations, and are we potentially getting false negatives on screenings for people of color who might be overlooked because of the limitation to this technology. So even if the lawsuit itself seems kind of frivolous based on its premise of the Apple Watch being a racist device, this could bring up some helpful questions for the medical community as they look at the technology that they use for their screening purposes, whether that is being tested for accuracy on all populations and being able to serve all kinds of people to the best of their abilities. So in conclusion, I don't have a straight answer for you all, but I'm interested to see where this goes and what develops out of it, both for the fitness community and for the medical community. As always, please subscribe to our channel. This helps us to grow and continue to create great content for you all. Thank you for checking out this video. See you all next time.